James keeps asking, where is Dave Walker? There he is, he's at hand. What's the problem?
I would like to make statements on RiskOS. There are a significant number of teachers here. There's a huge body of classroom-tested software which will run on RiskOS. The gentleman's already introduced it. Everything you could wish for. Also, a BBC emulator running under RiskOS, and even more software available. This pervades the British education system and others who follow it, like Oz and so on. So please bear that in mind. It's not just a raw operating system. There's a huge choice of classroom proven software out there.
So you're saying when you open that RiskOS door,
Yep.
there's a vast galaxy out there.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. and your name, please?
Gordon Taylor, I used to work for Computer Concepts.
Gordon Taylor! Team Dave, have you?
Not far away.
What?
Hey, you sat next to him.
No, so next to it. Are you the Dave Walker who used to work for Acom?
No.
Do we allow her to have these? So we have a half hour or so planned for a panel discussion, and then after that, the idea of today is to have lots of people talking for a short amount of time, so they've got lots more things that they want to talk about, so you can then go and talk to them and find out if they've had 20 minutes, hopefully you've said. If you've got questions, that's one that you sent to me, so I'm going to ask you along. If you've got questions, keep sending them to Twitter and email, what these people would love to answer. Can I, just in case anybody here doesn't know who the panel are, can I ask you just to introduce yourself very briefly so everybody knows who you are? If I pass from this end. Okay, thank you.
This one? I'm Pete Stevens of Mythic Base Limited. My job is to keep the Raspberry Pi website up and running so all controls and personality comments. Hi, I'm Alex Bradbury. I'm a PhD student here at the lab. I've been doing various software development work on Raspberry Pi, so currently I'm working on the Debian Wheaty based distribution images, which we're going to be putting out pretty out next year. Hopefully the next weekend.
Hi, I'm Bert van Loo. I'm more or less the hardware man behind the 2835 chip. I'm supposed to be responsible for everything inside there, so if it goes wrong, blame me.
Hi, my name's James Hughes. I'm again a colleague with Eben and Gert at Broadcom, but probably more known as one of the moderators in the Raspberry Pi website.
I'm Evan, I'm one of the founders of Raspberry Pi.
I'm Liz, you might know me from the internet.
So, first question we have now, there's about 8 people have asked the same question, so I'm going to try and combine them together. So we've got other questions for Model C, D, E, F and G, hang on. When will the Model A be released? Why didn't you use micro SD cards? Why does it not have this? Why is it, so tell us such technical things fit together.
Okay, the reason it has the features it has, basically it's a breakout board for a BCM 2835 SoC, so we have the features that the SoC has. Why didn't we, so I suppose why we have problems on it, for example. We were very lucky to find a chip that could do high def and standard video. Why do we use standard SD cards? They're harder to use in a classroom environment, and people tend to have them kicking around a little bit more than they do micro ones. When's the Model A coming out? Very soon. There was a video I think I accidentally gave the Inquirer a scoop a couple of weeks ago by waving the Model A around. Prototypes do exist. They are buildable at the price and are coming out in the next couple of months. The other one was future models. We have no current plans for future models.
Okay, now we've got going to combine some questions from Martin Garthwaite in London, Jeff Hamer in Berkshire, and Tony Jeffries in Cambridge. So Martin says, what are the plans for a faster processor? Jeff says, How is the foundation intending to ensure that the Raspberry Pi keeps its security on? And Tommy Jeffries wants to know, what are your plans for Pi 2?
Well, this one again. Because it's a little bit delicate, right? There was once a computer company called Osborne Computers that pre-announced its next product with a long time before it was ready and killed itself that way. We're very careful not to talk about future products. Obviously, we'd love to do something in the future, but I'm not lying when I say that we don't have any current plans.
Actually, do you want to get Alex to talk a bit about Raspberry as well? What we're talking about, that's the process. It's nice to talk about Raspberry first.
Okay, yeah, well, I may as well interject to Jeff. So we currently have, so we're working with people who read the website will see the work that Mike Thompson and other people have done on Raspberry distribution, which is a pretty amazing, tricky project to rebuild essentially, well, all of the tens of thousands of debit packages optimized to the ARM-v6 processor, which we use in Raspberry Pi with floating point table. So very shortly we're going to have a new release out which offers substantial performance advantages. And yeah, it should be out next few days.
Obviously the other obvious route to getting a little bit more performance is overclocking. There is a little bit of overclocking headroom in the device at the moment. If you want more overclocking headroom, you have to overvolt it, which currently voids your warranty. We are looking to see whether we can provide a little bit more voltage headroom within warranty. It's quite a substantial piece of work to make that happen.
Thank you. Yeah, we've got a question now from Bernard Skiller in Liverstowe, West Berkshire, and from Andrew Scheller in Cambridge. And they've asked lots of questions about the GERT board. Some of the questions have been, what is the GERT board? But they're asking specifically, when will it be available? What is it, first of all?
The GERT board is an extension board for the Raspberry Pi. It's really targeted from the beginning for teaching. That doesn't mean it's prohibited from being in any other fields. It's a generic I/O board which protects your Pi from doing stupid things on the outside. It has buffers, it has an A to D converter, D to A converter, it's got a motor controller, Opal collector, and it's got an HML chip compatible with the Arduino board. I sent a prototype of the board to Gordon, who's in the room here somewhere, and Gordon managed to get the GERT board and the Raspberry Pi working together with the Atmel development kit. That means you can run the Atmel development kit on the Raspberry Pi itself, and with a couple of wires you can straightforward upload your programs and run them on the emulation. When it will be available? We're working very hard on this. One of the things we try to avoid is to come out too soon, find out there's a huge demand for that, and then still have to disappoint about 90% of you there. So that's something which is, the same way as the Raspberry Pi organization underestimated the amount of interest in that, we have no idea what the interest is for the GERT board. Plans, I'm hanging myself out the window in 2 to 3 weeks, we will expect to have the board out. It will be a kit format. We hope to have enough to satisfy a significant number of these. And the reason why it's not out yet, because we don't want to disappoint you by having a video account.
Okay. This question's not on here because it's one of my questions, so I didn't send it to myself. As I understand it, when a lot of the concept of the Raspberry Pi came as a solution to a problem, which was identified that students were not coming to Cambridge the right such a level or caliber or the right such a volume. Lots of other people, and I'm sure people here will agree with me, that perhaps there's been some deficiencies in ICT education in the UK, and that the Raspberry Pi is one solution that will help solve that. However, thanks to the likes of, maybe Mr. Captain Jones and the BBC and a few other people, the success and popularity of the Raspberry Pi has spread globally. And I've seen the people in India, China and all these kind of places. How do you feel about people in the less developed parts of the world where the labour is lower cost? Do you think that there's something you're willing to share, or what to say about that?
Wow. Well, developing all this stuff is actually really, really exciting for us, because when we started this project, we were thinking in really small local terms. This was supposed to be a Cambridge thing. It's going to be getting people into the university. As we went on, there were lots of other people in the UK saying, well, we think we have enough for this too. And then, as it got bigger, we had a lot of people approaching us, especially from developing world charities, saying, we really, really use something like this. So, Yeah, we're actually working with a bunch of universities and schools overseas. I just been talking to school in Indonesia this morning, actually, about getting Raspberry Pis for, initially it's mostly local schools, but there are also people who are looking at the Raspberry Pi as more of a productivity machine, which is not something we expect people here to be using it for so much. But there are people who are setting up businesses. Again, I was talking to them last week in Africa, allowing people in the village to come along and use a computer to browse the web, do word processing, do business work, where the Raspberry Pi actually fits really, really nicely. It's, and we're looking at ways to get it driven off solar cells as well. And yeah, there's a lot of work there still to do, and we have a bunch of things that we want to do, but yeah, stuff is ongoing.
I kind of like holding the microphone, can you tell? So maybe this might be questions for other people in the panel. So we've had Rhys Gale in Cambridge and Thierry Ellison in Oxford. They're both asking, one is, do you have any job opportunities, or how does somebody get a job working for the Raspberry Pi Foundation?
So we don't have any employees. We have one full-time volunteer, and we have a lot of part-time volunteers. So yeah, we've got to where we are with no employees. I think probably over the next 6 months to a year, we are going to have to professionalise the foundation a little bit. When we do that, well, that's a bad thing. But yeah, when we do that, there will be job opportunities. We will publicise them. So we'll get there.
If Brazil ordered 100,000 units, if Brazil turned around as a government and said we need to get 100,000 of these units, what would your response to that? Would it give you cash orders for 100,000?
I think it takes about 25 days. That's our current build capacity is about 4,000 a day. They're being built. Well, I mean, the problem is that obviously a lot of those aren't available to go to Brazil because they're being sold to other people. But it's 4,000 a day. We're working to increase that. Very massively.
Well done.
Okay, we've got a question from William Gardner. You may have seen the video earlier from Peter. And he asks, do you see that the Raspberry Pi might evolve into the core of commercial products in the future?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Yes, I can't see any reason why not. You've seen the boards that have been demonstrated. Gert's board, both the ability to interface it to the real world. So there's no legal reason why you can't just buy one, put it into a product, and then sell it. Obviously, you have to maintain the usual EU regulations for launching a product that is those. Pretty good.
It's already happening.
Yeah, I think also because we're a charity, there are actually a lot of people out there who think that we're not interested in seeing people develop business applications with the thing, which is about to start from the truth. We're actually really, really interested in seeing other people make lots and lots of money out of this. We think British entrepreneurship's really important, and we want to see you guys making things and selling them, sticking them in your display units and in shops and restaurants. We've had a bunch of people looking at doing those little ordering things that you have in restaurants for and I think they come in at about 400 quid cheaper if you use a Raspberry Pi rather than using off-the-shelf technology. So there's a lot of opportunity out there.
Would you say, as well, combining the answer to that question, the previous one, like how we work for Raspberry Pi, that in many ways, lots of people here are already actually working. Like we have Liam, who's, as I understand it, perhaps being on paid to do all these Raspberry Pi tutorials. He's actually in effect working for Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, so I think. Yes, absolutely. So we are, I mean, this is something that started off as a collaboration between the university here and Brooklyn here in Cambridge. And this is a fantastic example of industry and academia working together. I think it's now become a three-way collaboration between those two in the community. And in terms of where the work is being done, the vast majority of the work is now being done out in the world, not being done under our control, and that's a good thing.
And the cases are a really, really good example of that, because when we launched, we thought, well, we're going to sell 10,000 of these. It's going to be really expensive for us to inject more cases. So tell you what, we'll wait until they're a bit more popular. That took 6 months. and then we'll look at injection molding. But we saw, within a couple of days, people were already producing, first of all, 3D printed cases. Lots of people have now set up businesses making their own cases, and it means that there's this great big ecosystem now where you can buy a custom case, you can buy something that perhaps suits your taste a lot better than something that we might have chosen. So I'm not sure that you'll ever actually see an official Raspberry Pi Foundation case. We really like the fact that you guys are making them and selling them, and it's great.
Okay, I've got the microphone, so I can answer this if I want to. It says, is there any intention, this is from John Holmes in Cambridge, have you got any intention for getting into schools to enthuse and energise students? I'll turn that to the panel first of all.
Well, certainly, we do have a bunch of interns working here at the Future Lab over the summer who are working on educational material. We had a small workshop where some people in the audience today came along to discuss with the teachers about how we could best work towards getting material out there. And we've already heard lots of stuff today about various activities people are already working on. So there's lots of things which are in the pipeline just to try and move towards building up that body material where teachers can go online, interact with the community if they want to, but also download pre-prepared lesson plans materials and use those in the classroom. Currently, I suppose it's fair to say that there's work to be done in making it so that teachers who perhaps don't have lots of time to plan out their lessons specifically for Raspberry Pi get involved.
Just to let you know, of course, the second half of today's event is exactly about that. And Graham will be presenting for the primary school, and I'll be presenting for the secondary. So if you are after lesson ideas, they will be available straight after this.
So we've got one more technical question, and then we've got two which are slightly humorous. So the next one is, are there more Raspberry Pis coming soon so that I can get hold of one? That's from Lucy Wade in Cambridge.
Is Lucy Wade here?
Oh, she's waving, she's over there. Hello, Lucy.
I did the drawing. I wasn't here for the Ristos thing. I have 200 Raspberry Pis with me. If anybody would like them,
did you say 200?
I have 200 Raspberry Pis.
200 Raspberry Pis with you.
I just stepped out during the. Yeah. It's actually incredibly cool that I can carry 200 computers that are more powerful. So after this, I will be out there. We can sell them to anyone who wants them 30 quid each, which is basically what you pay including the person pack.
£30 each.
Which is what it's approximately what you pay including the person pack and buy the company from one or five.
And not all that money goes to the foundation, but not skipping.
We are skipping it off.
On the round.
Is it possible to put Lucy Wade at the front of the queue as
Yeah.
So, Lucy, you're not going to have to wait until 2 weeks.
Mention I've got Pi versus as well.
Okay, so Andrew Robinson.
Thought you could get a nice set of Pi and a Pi first.
So Andrew Robinson, who was talking about PiFace earlier, he's brought some with him, and if you're interested in them, form an orderly queue. Not just yet, but we'll let you know. And there was a question, somebody saying, somebody from Virginia in the US, Ken Irving. Is Ken here? So I'm going to just give him a PiFace for free, which is better than Pi interface. And, well, Ken wanted to know if there was going to be a prototyping interface to Raspberry Pi for custom add-on board. So we've seen quite a lot about that today. Is there anything that's worth adding into that? Bird boards, PiFaces, X10Is.
Ooh, I've got something. And this might be a good opportunity to talk about the camera interface, since that's technically an add-on board. And for those of you, I was particularly interested by the Zoom presentation earlier, which looked absolutely fantastic, especially from a student's point of view, which is obviously going to need some sort of add-on board for the camera. My day job does involve working on the camera interface, so I think I was in the first ever picture. I was in the first ever picture taken with a Raspberry Pi. So that's I think they will have to be my claim to fame. I can't imagine getting another one. We only had one prototype, which was
designed by Gert, sitting on my left, and got working by a bunch of people at Broadcom in their spare time. So it's another good example of community effort. We do need to decide which camera module to use. These things are taken out, or not taken out of mobile phones, but they're the same manufacturing as mobile phones. They're the same things you get in those things. And they can be quite expensive if you don't buy enough of them. Mobile phones obviously do it in colossal quantities, millions upon millions. And you get a hell of a quantity discount if you buy that many. So there's, I think Evan has been doing quite a bit of, I guess it would be negotiation. And as soon as we know that, we can start working on getting these things out to people, because I think they're going to be a very, very popular animal. Yeah.
Negotiations done. So it does look like we should be in a position to offer a camera board in the $20 to $25 range. We're fairly sure, maybe in the next 3 months.
I don't think I can beat that announcement. It'll be a 5 megapixel device. It'll probably need a little bit of tuning. I don't know whether any of you are familiar with the efforts required to make a camera phone module actually take pictures where you can actually recognise people in it, but there's an awful lot of work goes into making them look good. The same camera interface is used on probably what's regarded as the best camera phone in the world at the moment, and that was developed by the team in Cambridge. So we've got a good pedigree in that area, but that did take a year to get working and to get the picture quality out. But obviously, it won't take a year on this one. Hopefully we'll be able to use up some existing knowledge in that area, and we'll see how long it takes once we get the chips on board. But we need to design a new board, take this chip, and then get the software working and tuning done. But then we should be getting lots of pictures of animals from.
Okay, for our last question, I'm going to give you a choice of 2 questions to answer. You can either answer Chris Dawson from Cambridge, his question, which is, assuming that the universe is infinite, the speed of light is constant, and the time only travels in one direction, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Or you might answer this question, who is your hero? Who are your heroes? With all of the panel, please.
That's an excellent question.
Either the breakfast or the hero, please.
I think the heroes is probably a whole bunch of the 80s game developers who spent lots and lots of time writing computer games in the 80s, particularly for Spec, because I can afford to use code I disassembled that bread, largely sold for cheap.
The breakfast, I ate that.
Oh, this is very difficult. I'm not much heroes at all. So I probably would have to hesitate between developing or controversies Ford, which I'll have. I think would be seen as the father of making this terrible consumption society possible by making the products very cheap. And we are, of course, the inventor of the light bulb, which I think is the president of the
And this is going to sound terrible. For breakfast, I think I had some of those little white mice. They do too much. As a hero, I think I might be stepping on Evan's toes here, because I think that Elon Musk will PayPal. I didn't realise that Evan was a big follower of the space industry, but I think what Musk has done over the last, I think, 10 years has shown up government-funded engineering to such a massive extent.
I mean, the guy's basically Tony Stark, but he's real. I don't know if he flies around in the galaxy. I don't tend to eat breakfast. I tend to have another lunch, and I had a ham and cheese sandwich.
And I haven't had half of the ham and cheese sandwich. So heroes for me, people who come up with stupid big ideas and then do them. So people like Jeff Bezos and Neil Stephenson got them knocked down. That's just stupid big. But Tim Schmidt, the Eden Project. These people with huge visions who actually carry them through. We sort of did this by accident. We thought it was a little thing, and it kind of got away from us. But yeah, those people who actually know what they're doing and do it. I really have
Can anybody in the audience name the creator of the Pong game 40 years ago? Can you name him? What's his name?
Is it Nolan Bushnell?
Nolan Bushnell. Famous quote, and he says, lots of people have great ideas, but it's the ones who get out in the shower. You get out of the shower, it's a great idea, you try yourself off, and then you make it happen. And we've got people here who very clearly got out of the shower and made these things happen.
And he went on to do Chuck E. Cheese, Showtime pizza restaurant.
Maybe not one of his best ideas. So, and it's fantastic to be in the space. I said, you're in the best place to be in the world today, with the nicest kind of people here in the front and the back. Even the gentleman with his hand up, he's a great guy. We'll find out what you're going to say in just a moment. But I'm sure, Liz, you front a lot of the emails. You get lots of people sending emails all the time.
Some of them are horrid.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sure you must get people all the time saying, you know what you need to do? You need to go and take the Raspberry Pi and do this with it. You need to go and do that with it. Do you have a response to that kind of thing?
Yeah, do it yourself.
Which is kind of where I was coming from with Raspberryjam. I thought, it's a great idea if they did this, but I'm sure they've got far too many other things to be doing. So you go out and you do your Raspberryjam and you make it happen on your kitchen table, Starbucks, and we're going to listen to your question. Go on.
Right, it's the takeaway from this particular meeting, I would urge that we not see the Raspberry Pi as small in any way, a vision inspired after all, nor is it indeed limited to education. One of the things the first time through, as in the Acorn story, we were shoved off into a niche irrelevant to the real world. This emphatically is not the case. I'm an engineer. I'm sitting next to people who want to use it for robotics. We talked about industrial strength interfaces. What this means is it's got huge potential. Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying, less yak, more hack.
Emphasize to policymakers that this is not a niche product. It's a vehicle for the realization of vision.
This is a vehicle for ideas. Thank you very much. Now, Graham Hastings, you need to make your way to the front, please. So, today is just to start, we get to listen to some great people sharing some great ideas. And as James mentioned a few moments ago, we're going to move into a teach meeting in approximately 15 minutes or time or so. Somebody's shaking their head at me. Soon we're going to move into it. She's shaking her head at you, not at me. We're going to move into a teach meeting in about 15 minutes. Those people who just come because they want to meet Liz and Evan and Alex and all the other members of the team and all the speakers we've had today, Liam. Graham's going to give you some details of how, in the next couple of hours, you can go and spend some more time talking to them. Once you've bought your Lucy, once you've got your Raspberry Pi, I'm going to tell you who you need to go and speak to and where. So, Graham, if you could just give us some details about that now. Take the microphone.
We're building a community here, and we're building a community here, and you're the beginnings of the community. Shall I start again? We're building a community here, and you're the beginnings of that community. Now, some of you will be in schools and education, and you'll want to stay for the Teach Meet, where we share our vision for the Raspberry Pi education. Some of you will have much more techie things you want to talk about, And so to facilitate that, we suggested that you form groups. And if you look at your handout, there are 4 suggestions for groups. And possibly the best way to do this would be if you congregated at the tables in the street, in the area outside where you registered, and decided whether you would like to go to the pub of our recommendation, or if you are not interested in having alcoholic beverage, you might want to go to McDonald's down the road. Whatever it is, you form your group and you take it where you want to go. They're good pubs, they're good recommendations, so do follow those. There's a map on the back of your handout that shows you where to go. So that's the breakout meetings. Future jams, I volunteered to coordinate future jams in Cambridge. And the email address for Raspberryjam Cambs is on the back of your handout somewhere, so have a look at that. And do email me. I can then organise groups, or I can organise jams for you. I've got a venue that we are kitting out. We may not be able to provide Raspberry Pis for everybody, but if you bring your Raspberry Pis, there'll be monitors, keyboards, everything set up for you. So if you want to organise a jam yourself, let me know, and we can provide a venue for that. So contact me. The next thing I was going to mention was the teach me that follows. Did you want to say something about that now?
Yeah, I just want to be very clear. Hands up for those of you who are actually involved in education. Okay, so most of you probably be staying. In which case, as far as you guys are concerned, it's just a 15-minute break, then we'll do teach me teach. I have one very special thing to give out right now, and Tom hates getting out in front of people, but Tom hates, could you come out please? Please, could you meet Eben and Liz, because I have a very special award for you. And just to show you guys, I think to show everybody, this is what happens. That's right. He managed to get a Raspberry Pi before I did, and I had to steal mine. He was up there first thing in the morning. He is absolutely into his computer programming, and therefore I have made him the digital leader for Raspberry Pi in my school. And here is his reward.